Are you in love with an avoidant or emotionally unavailable partner that seems to like you well enough, but you're worried that your anxious neediness is going to eventually push them away? And really wanting to know how to make an avoidant partner fall in love with you so you can give everything you've got to giving the potential of this relationship a real shot. If so, you're going to want to stick with me until the end of this video because I'm going to share with you the 6 surprising traits that will tug on your partner's heartstrings and inspire them to prioritize you in their life, all without pretending to be someone you're not or using manipulative mind games that don't really work. To begin, I would like to introduce you to Melissa. Melissa is a cisgender heterosexual woman that wants a partner who is emotionally open and honest about their feelings and doesn't shy away at the first sign of conflict. Bonus points if she could also get him to express what he really wants and needs, so she doesn't have to walk on eggshells around him, driving herself crazy, trying to figure out just the right thing to say and do, so he decides he wants to commit to her above all others, and she can finally stop worrying about her ticking biological clock. But no matter how hard Melissa tries, things never seem to pan out the way she wants them to. She can't be witty enough, sexy enough, thoughtful enough, funny enough, or exciting enough to keep her partner's undivided attention, or persuade him to choose her over working extra hours on the weekend or a night out with the guys. It feels as if all her good intentions and thoughtful efforts only wind up completely ignored or even turning her partner off. This leaves Melissa feeling frustrated, helpless, hopeless, and maybe a bit cynical. But then, when she pulls back and decides to take time apart, her partner seems to come running back. Melissa can't tell if that's because he likes the drama and wants her to play hard to get, or if there might be something else she's misunderstanding that could turn things around. Now, the truth is, for someone who has a habit of people-pleasing and prioritizing the needs of their partner above their own, as opposed to equally to their own, establishing a personal boundary and sticking to it can look and feel like it is manipulative or playing hard to get, but that is not actually what is drawing your partner back. As we go over these 6 traits, you will come to understand how it is your show of self-advocacy that usually inspires attraction in a partner, particularly in an avoidant one who usually values self-possession and personal agency above all else. But before we dive in, if you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Briana MacWilliam, and I am a licensed and board-certified creative arts therapist with more than 15 years in the field, helping adults struggling with insecure attachment go from self-doubting to self-sovereign so they can attract the soul-shaking, passionate partnerships that they want. And I do this using a psycho-spiritual approach to creative arts interventions, which I call the MacWilliam method. The content on my YouTube channel is derived from my online courses, which you can learn more about through the link in the caption of this video. If you would like to learn more about your attachment style, you can take the 4-question quiz. If you like what you see and hear and you want to learn more, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. I put up videos once a week, and I wouldn't want you to miss out. As a reminder, avoidant partners are typically described as emotionally unavailable, primarily because of discouraging experiences in their upbringing and in adulthood. Your attachment style is also affected by your DNA and inherent temperament, which we now know because of the strides made in attachment research related to epigenetics. Now, in our last video, 6 Signs an Avoidant Partner Loves You, we explored a few important questions to determine long-term compatibility with a partner. And today we are exploring 6 surprising traits that inspire an avoidant partner to love you. Now, at this time in my private Facebook group of over 21,000 members, we have several individuals who self-report having avoidant attachment. When I asked these individuals what inspired them to feel love, these were the 6 primary traits they indicated. Number 1, consistency. To explain what this means, I'm going to quote a member from my group. Consistency means you know what you want and don't wait for me to say what I want first. And you don't change what you think or feel because I think or feel something else. It degrades my trust in your judgment and makes me feel like you don't know who you really are or what you really want. So how can I know if you really love and want me or just someone that fits your fantasy of romance? I'm not interested in being with someone who's just in love with the idea of being in love. Number 2, self-possession. This really boils down to knowing your value and not seeking too much external validation for it. When you have been taught your whole life to suppress your needs because they are a burden or because they are deemed secondary to the concerns of other people around you, you can have a habit of looking to the outside world to validate your right to have your feelings or your needs. He won't listen to me or validate my concerns, you say. So what do I do now? To the average person, this is very annoying indeed, and they might not choose to engage with someone like that and instead walk away. But if you are someone who responds by getting disproportionately upset, because deep down you truly believe that this must mean your needs are invalid, or that you don't actually have a right to them or to your feelings, simply because this person won't acknowledge or agree with you, that's really where you get into trouble. Because you get hooked, chasing this person down or someone else like them, begging after their approval. And you cannot rest until you've won this game, proven to them your specialness, your good enoughness, because that's the only way that you can prove it to yourself. But being like this is like being born with fingernails and then asking your partner every day in a million subtle and not so subtle ways if you have permission to keep your fingernails. And then you get angry or upset when they fail to give you the permission you're seeking. But they can never really give you that kind of permission. Only you can give yourself that kind of permission. And the wonderful truth is that when you do, you actually make it a lot safer and easier for your partners to move closer to you rather than pushing them away, because you are no longer asking them to essentially hold a precious glass vase that they are doomed to drop. The best way to practice self-possession is simply to assume the mantra, my needs are valid no matter what, and I honor them no matter what. This does not require changing who you are. It requires accepting yourself as you are, flaws and all. How others respond to this will give you very good information about whether or not you want to keep them in your life. Number 3, boundaried. To be someone who is boundaried means to clearly communicate that you are not a doormat, but you're not trying to control anyone either. Rolling stones are likely to want to test your boundaries to see what kind of metal you are made of. These are folks that just abhor weakness and admire strength. So you want to demonstrate to them that wearing your heart on your sleeve also comes with a backbone. This will coax them out of their shell, assuming a deeper part of them wants to be coaxed. For example, if your avoidant partner texts you in the middle of the night for a booty call or an endless sexting extravaganza, instead of dropping everything to rush over there or laboring over capturing the perfect naked pic and filter, you might try ignoring the text until the morning and then replying, hey, thanks for the message, but I don't text that late at night. If you'd like to get together, I'm attending a happy hour tonight at 6 p.m. after work. Would be great to see you there. Number 4, passionate. To be someone who is passionate means that you have your own hobbies, interests, and pursuits. Binge watching Netflix and surfing social media does not count. Someone who is engaged with their creative energy is someone who is tapped into their vital energy, which is also your libido. And that is undeniably attractive to anyone. It also means that you are more likely to be someone of substance that can bring new perspectives to a relationship. Additionally, your partner won't feel as afraid or guilty if they ask for some alone time, because they trust that you will be happy doing your own thing while they are doing theirs, as opposed to feeling angry, angsty, or acting out in response. Number 5, non-judgmental. Can you express a need or desire without criticism or judgment? Can you embrace and appreciate the way in which a Rolling Stone wants to show you their love without imagining the many ways that they could do it better? If a Rolling Stone needs some time alone, do you assume it must be because of you or something you've done wrong? If they want some privacy, do you assume that they are hiding something or cheating on you? If you can assume a non-judgmental and accepting attitude, without reading negative or fearful assumptions into the exchanges between you and your partner is likely to feel a lot more able to be themselves around you, because they will feel seen and accepted for who they really are, not for who you would rather they would be. And they also won't feel like you expect them to do your emotional labor or heavy lifting. Number 6, discerning. We might also describe a discerning person as someone who has the ability to say no when they need to. Just because you are a non-judgmental and accepting person does not mean you are a doormat or a yes man. In fact, either of those things is likely to turn your partner off. You can accept and love someone for who they are with unconditional regard and still make a discerning choice about how you will allocate your time, money, and real-world physical resources in that relationship with them. You can also love someone who is completely unable to meet your needs. It doesn't make them a villain, and it doesn't make you unworthy or undeserving. It just makes you incompatible for a long-term relationship. And you will never know the truth of how compatible you really are if you never use your discernment. This means you have to say no to some things as much as you say yes to others, because your yeses mean nothing without your nos. This is what gives a partner a sense of challenge and intrigue in a relationship. It makes a partner feel like you are choosing them, not settling for what's available. And just one last tip. If you want your avoidant partner to hear you when you say no, it's best if you can show up to the conversation without being overly emotional or too terribly swayed by what your avoidant partner says. Know what you want first. Be confident and secure in that. Then invite them to be part of a co-creative solution in which you both are able to get your needs met. Don't figure everything out for them beforehand. Let the exchange unfold in the moment. Now, I would have you keep in mind that avoidant partners are labeled as such because they are avoiding the experience of anxiety, which they actually feel quite keenly. Otherwise, they wouldn't spend so much time and effort trying to avoid it. For them to want to open up in a relationship, it must mean that they have decided to lean into the fire. It requires that they choose an anxious experience that they have long avoided because something has convinced them that it must be better on the other side. Basically, with you, they have to feel more free to be themselves in love and in relationship than outside of it. Then and only then will they care more about prioritizing and meeting your needs as much as their own, as opposed to protecting their independence, because they will view you as a crucial component to their emotional freedom. A final warning, however, only when a partner is motivated to meet you in an emotionally honest place will they respond positively to any overtures you might make or attempts to become increasingly consistent, self-possessed, boundaried, passionate, non-judgmental, and discerning. What you now have the power to do for both of you in this relationship is create the possibility for real love, spiritual expansion, and personal growth. But if you have a partner who appears invested in perpetuating the dysfunction in your relationship and does not want to change the status quo, there is nothing you can do to change them. That is a journey they must take on their own. And you wouldn't want to attempt to change them, because that means that you will always be questioning their authenticity and the authenticity of the relationship. It also means you would likely get caught in a toxic relationship. And if that is the case, then you will need to utilize these 6 traits to use your discernment and make a healthy decision for what to do about this relationship moving forward. Now, to help you with that decision, I recommend checking out my video, When to Leave a Toxic Relationship According to Your Chakras. Also, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications, because next week, I'm going to be releasing the 4th and final video in this series. Why do avoidant partners come back? 3 unexpected reasons. And lastly, if you'd like to learn more about your attachment style or the attachment style of your partner, you can check out the easy 4-question quiz in the caption of this video. You can also check out my online courses on my website. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week.